Hasan Piker and xQc are in some major drama right now, and it all started with this headline. There's this headline. It comes from The Independent. The headline reads as follows: Musk wants to leave politics because he's tired of attacks from the left, report says. Okay. So this is not entirely accurate. This is not entirely true, and I'll get to why this headline is kind of false, but I'm not just going to blame The Independent, because Elon Musk himself has sort of said something to this effect. He was like, well, me working for the federal government and doing all the DOGE stuff is negatively affecting my ability to actually run X and run Tesla as good companies. So he's basically using that as an excuse to say, like, okay, here's why I'm leaving DOGE. But that's not entirely the case. That's kind of false, but I'll get to that later. Now it's time to get to the beef. So this tweet, or Zeet or whatever, got posted, and it got some views, 25.9 million views. That ain't bad. So Hasan Piker, of course, always willing to scoop up the L, decided to post this. He said, don't ever let anyone tell you your voices don't matter. Now, what this is sort of referring to is the fact that Tesla is sort of hurting right now. And the reason why they're hurting is because of all the terrorism that they have been forced to face. Because a lot of far left loonies have been running around, setting cars on fire, shooting up Tesla dealerships, basically being pretty violent and causing all of this reckless damage. And so that has sort of struck fear in a lot of Tesla owners, potential Tesla owners, because they're driving around in their Tesla, or they're thinking about buying a Tesla, and they're afraid because they're thinking, oh, well, I'm going to be attacked if I'm driving in this Tesla. Like, I just want to take my kid to soccer practice, and now we got to worry about, while the car is parked, some fool sticking his hand into his butt and smearing poop all over the windows, or somebody like throwing up all over the windshield and the doors and stuff, or taking like hammers and smashing it, or keying the car and all that stuff. Like, I don't want to have to deal with that. I just want a mode of transportation. So that has sort of made people leery of Tesla as a brand, and so they've sort of started to distance themselves away from it, selling their Teslas. Even dealerships don't really want to take it. Used car salesmen don't really want to take it because it's kind of a hot potato right now. On the other hand, we have a few people who kind of revel in the infamy that these vehicles are getting, right, due to all of these far left loonies. So we do have some folks who are buying Teslas, and then they're recording the crazy people going around attacking the vehicles and getting them arrested and stuff, which is something that's kind of cool to see, right? It's always nice to see these terrorists be brought to justice, but at the same time, it's like, it's the only reason you have a Tesla, to catch these criminals in the act. That kind of seems lame. Just get the car because the car is cool, or because you like the vehicle or whatever. Don't just get it to score political points on the internet. But hey, sometimes political points on the internet can make you a living. So can't really hate the player. I just hate the game. But moving on, xQc decided to quote tweet this abominable post from Hasan Piker by saying "voices," showing a picture of a bunch of Teslas on fire. Right? Because this is fair, because Hasan is saying don't let anyone tell you your voices don't matter. But it's not voices that caused Tesla stock to tank so much. It was really the terrorism that was being inflicted upon owners of Teslas and upon Tesla dealerships. Now, make no mistake, right? People will be like, oh, nobody got hurt or whatever, so it can't be terrorism. Well, first of all, terrorism is not defined by whether or not someone gets hurt. Right. Terrorism is defined by whether or not you're targeting civilians in an effect to instill fear upon them and affect political change or social change or whatever. And that's exactly what they're doing. These people are running around, setting cars on fire, keying cars in hopes that they will get people to stop supporting Elon Musk, and then that lack of support will drive Elon Musk away from being an ally to Donald Trump. That is terrorism. It's quite literally terrorism. And so xQc is rightly calling this out by saying these are not voices. This is violence, right? And so this is the most notorious person who has responded to xQc regarding this, where Presic says, why do you choose to quote retweet Hasan on something that he's objectively correct on instead of the thousands of actual moronic things he's posted, bro? Defended, I guess. Presic is wrong. He took the L. He took the L in like a 53-minute long debate that's now been posted on YouTube on the xQc Reacts channel, I believe, which is the best xQc channel in my opinion. And xQc here said violence equals voice. Look who's doing the defending now, which is like an absolute W. I think it's actually a human rights violation that xQc has not ratioed Hassan Piker yet. He has 148,000 likes on this one, and this one only has 70K. Kind of a shame. I did my part. I did my fair share here, but kind of unfortunate that, he wasn't able to run those numbers up, because I think, ethically, of course, this is quite an epic ratio, right? Like I think he kind of dunked on him pretty hard here. Like, these are not voices, bro. These are not voices. Now, off that drama aside, because the drama's kind of silly, what sort of sparks headlines like this is this idea that Elon Musk can just sit until in the government for as long as he wants, and he only leaves when he wants to, so he's being forced out. Not so. This is something that I actually noticed. Here, let me see if I can pull this up actually, because I think this would make my point a little bit better. It was at the Munich Security Conference in 2025, and what tipped me off to this was actually JD Vance's speech. Here, this is what JD Vance said that tipped me off to the fact that Elon Musk is not going to be in the federal government forever.
And trust me, I say this with all humor. If American democracy can survive 10 years of Greta Thunberg scolding, you guys can survive a few months of Elon Musk.
Oh, that's interesting. A few months of Elon Musk. So very clearly here, JD Vance was saying Elon Musk is not going to be in the federal government forever. He's not going to be here. Definitely, he's not even going to be here for the full term. He's only going to be here for a few months. And this actually seems to be borne out by the facts. This headline here sort of breaks it down. This is from the American Prospect, but the headline says Elon Musk only has 100 days left in the government. And this is from February, so around the time when JD Vance actually gave that speech. But here is the little byline here. I think it's called byline, right? It's called the byline, I believe. Here's the little byline. It says, the Trump White House insists he's a special government employee. That designation has a time limit. So it says here, on Tuesday, Judge Tanya Chutkin, oh, don't we love her, declined to issue a temporary restraining order sought by 14 states that would have blocked Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, teams from the internal IT systems of multiple federal agencies. Oh yes, because heaven forbid federal employees have access to federal data. In a declaration in the case, Joshua Fisher of the Office of Administration stated that Musk is a non-career special government employee, SGE, serving as a senior advisor to the president who has, quote, no actual or formal authority to make government decisions himself, end quote. He's not even part of DOGE either, according to Fisher. Quote, the U.S. DOGE service is a component of the executive office of the president. Mr. Musk is an employee in the White House office. He is not an employee of the U.S. DOGE service or U.S. DOGE service temporary organization. Mr. Musk is not the U.S. DOGE service administrator, which they have said. I think a few months afterwards, they were like, there's this different person who's running DOGE, right? So this is something that they've been very open about and very honest about, I believe. Setting aside the lunacy of seeing the word DOGE used repeatedly in legal filings, I can just see the author squeaming in their chair. I say they because it's liberal. David Dayan, okay, squirming in his chair. The declaration defied common sense and okay, sure, buddy, sure. But let's take the White House at its word. If it's really the case that Musk is a mere advisor operating as a special government employee, that he could only stay in that job until May 30th and would have to vacate the White House after that. Most of his DOGE teams, also serving as SGEs, would have to leave too. Now, actually, I decided to look down in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, and what do you know? It has the time and date. And I wonder what the date is. Oh, it's actually April 24th. So Elon Musk is a month out from having to leave the federal government. So it's not entirely surprising that Elon Musk would start packing his bags at this moment, especially because if DOGE is to continue beyond Elon Musk's tenure, then there has to very clearly, of course, being a passing of the baton, because a lot of the Doge teams, they're SGEs as well. So people are going to have to find replacements for these folks. They're going to be normal employees. So Elon Musk can now be helping with this transition. I think he recently said that he's going to be clocking in like once a week or whatever. So Elon Musk is going to be able to do that if that's what he wants to do. Hey. But he also will be able to facilitate the transition, which is very, very important for continuity and making sure all the work continues to get done. And hey, let's be honest, because I think that this is actually a valid point that the left has in regards to Doge, is that Elon Musk is not the greatest person at picking who should be fired and who shouldn't be fired. There are so many cases of Elon Musk saying, we're going to fire that person. And then like 2 days later being like, hey, we need that person back. And then the administrator's like, oh, well, too bad. You deleted his phone number. So, you know, replacing Elon Musk with someone else is actually like the best possible scenario, because we're probably going to be getting him replaced with someone who's far more competent. And I'm really looking forward to see what that looks like. And I think it's actually going to be a lot more efficient. Ironically, considering that this is DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency.